And we're live. Well now, apparently even my goddamn and we're live moment gets interrupted now. But yeah, I'm here now and all that jazz. So, hello everybody, and welcome to my brand new live stream of Kaiserreich Legacy of the Weltkrieg. The brand new alpha released a good while ago, but I kept putting off playing it for some reason. Anyways, we are now in alpha 0.6.3, Garibaldi's Nightmare, which I cannot see that name without thinking of Garibaldi from Babylon 5, so I may throw in a Babylon 5 reference or two during this series. In any case, this is the Hearts of Iron 4 version, and to be perfectly honest, if things go the way I'm planning for them to, then I'm just basically gonna play this until I get bored with it or the game slows down too much to be able to legitimately do anything. But, as with last time, we are going to be playing as the Russian Republic. And on regular difficulty, not Iron Man. But yeah, my reason for choosing Russia, as we get rid of all the credits, anyways, my reason for choosing Russia is quite simply that Russia has a lot more going on for them early on than a lot of nations. Like Germany, you'll be playing the economic and political game, trying to battle the Kaiserreich version of the Great Depression for most of the time. Nations like the Ottoman Empire are interesting because you have to fight the Middle Eastern Axis that wants to drive you out of all the territory you hold down here, and or annex the Ottomans, so you have to fight that off, but I've given the Ottomans a try before, and I'm just not good enough to play as them. Then you have Canada, where you're trying to build up your military and get ready to retake the Union of Britain, and the United States of America, who have an interesting event chain. But all of that really pales in comparison to Russia, because you have all of it with Russia. You have political reform, placating your populace, expanding and taking back your old territories. You have all of it. And it really makes Russia one of the most interesting countries there are to play, I think. And that's why I like playing as Russia, and why they're one of the only countries I keep coming back to without fail. But now it's time for us to set up a few things. For one, we're producing a bunch of outdated destroyers and submarines. We can bin those, I think. We don't need them. In fact, as Russia, Navy is not going to be a big thing for us, so I am just going to take all of our naval production and put it into making convoys for trade. And now we'll go into our research slots and start researching electronic mechanical engineering, basic machine tools, and construction 1. My usual setup is Russia. I like to get the industrial thing going before we start worrying about our infantry equipment or anything. Now, I'm going to set up our civilian and military factory production, as well as industry. There's going to be quite a lot of it. Probably end up skipping a bunch of this and just going to other things that are more important at the time. But it's a good starting point, I think. Also, if you've never played Kaiserreich before and you start getting into it in the near future, let me give you one very basic tip if you decide to play as Russia. Do not build anything in the Alash autonomy, because, spoilers, they tend to declare independence when the whole instability thing kicks off. I'm not going to bother with the infrastructure just yet. For now, we're also going to go into our Recruit and Deploy tab, kick down upgrades, and put reinforcements on the highest priority. We're in need of 1 rubber, but I don't actually care about that. Now we're going to start setting up our army divisions. And the primary borders I care about early on are the Alash Autonomy, the Dongban Union, and Mongolia. Japan, in my experience, doesn't try things this early. Not to say they can't, but they generally don't.
Готов?
2 armies here. We'll give them both this front line. They can share their front line, I guess. I'm hoping we don't have to fight the Dongban Union, but who knows, really. We want their land back at some point, after all. Owning that territory is going to be critical for Russia, because at some point we're going to go heavy into vehicle production. And let's see, where's the resource map mode? There we go. As you can see, the Dongban Union, along with Azerbaijan, have a fuck ton of oil, and we want to have a fuck ton of oil.
До приказа.
You guys here are going to be part of the army that will camp on the Alash Autonomy's border. A single army alone doesn't have the numbers to pull that off, really, but I'm going to be putting 2 or 3 armies on their border, so that should cover things. 10 divisions.
Так точно.
19.
Внимание!
We got 25. I'll just kick one off of there. Boris, you can have that. Say hello to your new job, guarding the border with our puppet. Don't bitch about it, you have no choice.
Так точно. Так точно. Слушаю.
Okay.
Готов. Внимание! Внимание!
It's 23.
Я готов. Я готов.
And I don't really care about these guys at the moment, which is why they get the smallest priority. And no, I'm not giving you fucking Zhukov. But you are going to camp on the border with Japan. But since you have only 10 divisions, you'll get no further orders beyond that. Just like you guys are just going to be camping on Mongolia's border for now. I'm not actually going to give you an offensive battle line. Not yet, anyways. But for now... For now, I'm actually going to push us up to speed 2 and unpause the game. Actually, screw that. Make it speed 3. We're in the slow period right now, so speed 3 helps. Blah 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 blah. It's just basically a history blurb right now, so I'm not going to read it. Basically, Germany helped out Russia, so Alexander Kerensky's coalition of a bunch of different parties are now in control of Russia. So yay for that. And the Constitution stuff. Our party popularity is dropping, and stability is very low in Russia. You see, this is what we call a bad thing. We should strengthen the economy. There's some decision pop up there. Legislative freedoms. Can't do that yet, sorry. Yeah, we start out as Russia with shit war support and stability, as well as crappy party popularity. And now, Alexander Kerensky, the guy who was basically holding Russia together for the past 20-some-odd years, is dead. He's been assassinated. So that's going to have a bit of a knock-on effect. And it gives me an excuse to showcase Russia's interesting national focus system. As a lot of the very early ones you get as Russia aren't actually focuses that you choose and do. They're ones that trigger after certain events happen in game. And as you probably saw from the description of Russia, right now, we have no idea what to do with our navy. It's shit. And we're still struggling to make a centralized plan for the army. And we don't really have a real government at this point. So that's fun. The aftermath of the assassination of Kerensky. The assassination of our long-term president, Alexander Kerensky, has thrown the country into chaos. With the president gone, the governing coalition of cadets and social revolutionaries has collapsed, and four forces look ready to seize control of the broken nation. So, we basically get to decide who takes power in Russia. And personally, I've only actually done 2 of the government paths for Russia. I've had the left SR Mensheviks secure a majority, and elected Grand Duke Dmitry. Let's see here. What do we go with? I think I am going to do the interesting approach and have Baron Wrangel declare martial law and dissolve the Duma. We are going to have a military coup in Russia. Exiled divisions.
До приказа.
So we had a few of them hanging out in the Alash Autonomy. Our stability is now very low. Great. And yep, they have now declared independence, as they always do. Always. I kid you not. Ever since the Alash Autonomy was introduced as a puppet of Russia at the start of the game, I have never had a single playthrough where they do not declare independence. It's just a thing that happens. Let's see. Wrangel addresses the nation. A few days after seizing power, Field Marshal Wrangel went forward to address the troubled Russian people. A man of noble birth, Wrangel will do anything to ensure the survival of Russia, even if that means letting go of his dreams of a new Romanov monarchy. In his widely publicized speech, the Field Marshal declared his intention to maintain order and stability in Russia by any means necessary, even if it means compromising with the more extreme rightist groups. The Black Baron shall bring order to Holy Russia, gain for stability. And right now, any increase in stability and or war support we can get is an absolute blessing. Because we don't exactly have a lot of it to go around at the moment. Indeed, we do not. Okay, we're going to appoint a Prime Minister now, and who do we want? The leader of the Conservatives will do. He gives us more stability anyhow. So, we've got ourselves an actual Prime Minister now. Boris Starmer dies. increase from very low to low stability. And those communist nut jobs are writing literature now? What next? Actual revolution. And I want to show off here a few changes that have been made to Italy. You'll notice now that the Italian Federation is a good deal smaller, and at this point are basically Austria's bitch. Unlike in previous versions where they were northern Italy, and the Socialist Republic of Italy was southern Italy. Rome wasn't independent. And Sardinia was not an independent state. The French Republic didn't own Corsica, it was owned by the Italian Federation. And a bunch of other changes. Also the fact that Britain starts off in the Third International is a change. They usually, before this update, they started out non-aligned. Although they would usually jump on board with the other communists once the Weltkrieg broke out. Anyways, Germany now wants us to pay the money we owe them early. And there goes that bonus stability I just earned. Thanks for that, Germany. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. You suck, by the way, Germany. You suck. And we're back down to very low stability. Fuck Germany, by the way. Fuck Germany. I'm not happy about the fucking Germans. Never am, to be honest. Then again, I tend to do at least some minor role-playing when I play Kaiserreich, and Russia generally doesn't like Germany because, well, they beat us in the Weltkrieg and took a huge bite out of our European territories as a result of that. Let's see, we're not getting our profits from the legation cities because reasons. We have workers' strikes, and I'm going to fulfill their demands. Because while losing access to some factories for consumer goods is annoying, the other two are quite a bit worse. Reorganization of the internal police. With the rise of internal dissent, the government has to grant itself an internal police able to actively hunt down the protesters. And that unlocks the ability for us to take the national focus, reintroduce Okrana. With revolutionary movements active throughout Russia, some members of the Duma, developers, you might want to get on this. I picked Wrangel, therefore we dissolved the Duma. So that would probably be something along the lines of some members of Wrangel's advisory council or something. something along those lines. Members of the Duma does not fit in this circumstance. You might try to do something about changing the flavor text depending on which decisions are taken. Anyways, suggesting a complete reorganization of our internal police based on the old Zara's secret police. That thing I'm not even going to bother to try and pronounce, or simply Okrana. The organization will hunt down any radical revolutionary elements and re-educate them to respect the Russian state, which will give us the national spirit. Okrana has the effect of minus 20% effective partisans on us, minus 0.1 daily cost in political power, and plus 5% stability. It's more stability, so go for it. Oh, I didn't even realize I'd done this. Ah. I need to set up my army groups. Those two army groups are the only ones that actually need army groups. Those, so I can put up with Mongolia and Japan and mainland and Japan's mainland stuff not having army groups because they deliberately only have a single army per right now, and I'm fine with that at the moment. Let's see. Black Monday has hit. This is not good. For those of you unfamiliar with the Kaiserreich background and lore, Black Monday is basically the Kaiserreich equivalent of the Great Depression, except this time it happens in Germany, in Berlin, rather than New York City. And also the fact of the matter is that the Great Depression, while the Great Depression was certainly bad, in general, I consider Black Monday to be much worse. Much worse. But yes, mein Gott. Ties with Bulgaria, eh? It seems as though the Bulgarians have approached us in an attempt to foster relations between our two nations. A delegation has come to us asking to further ties, claiming it would be useful for both our nations, especially in the current turbulent climate, and that there is safety in numbers. While an alliance could be useful, the fact remains that they fought against us in the Weltkrieg and are surrounded by hostile nations. Well, for now they're just asking for closer diplomatic relations. We don't have to agree to make an alliance. I'm going to accept their advances. Let's see. France has an electoral gridlock, so none of their factions could acquire a majority in the election, and they have set up a coalition. Also, as always happens, Afghanistan has declared war on India. Now watch Afghanistan melt as a result. Yeah. Not much reason to care about Afghanistan. They'll probably continue to exist after the war, but they will be a lot smaller. Generally, in my experience, Afghanistan loses at minimum 2, but up to 3 states in this war. I've seen them lose every one of their states, except for Kabul. It's not uncommon. Military access between us and Bulgaria. That's yes. Afghanistan literally never wins that war. It's not under the control of the AI. I'm sure an especially good player could probably manage to defeat the Dominion of India. But bear in mind, the Dominion of India is part of the Entente. Meaning that Afghanistan would then be involved in a perpetual war, even if they won that. back. Sorry for the pause. Real life interruptions. Anyways, as I was saying about Afghanistan, they really have no way to actually win that war, even if they could defeat the Dominion of India, which never happens. As then, to actually own that land and be able to make peace, they would have to take out the Australasian Confederation, Canada, let's see, the West Indies Federation, the French Republic, and Sardinia. So that is literally never going to happen. Is basically what I'm saying.
Готов выдвигаться. Так точно.
But for now, we're in the waiting period. None of my research is finished yet, and Russia's still in a crap situation. Mr. Wrangel here plans to establish his government and make the country stable again, among other things. And we need to get better manpower because we are motherfucking Russia. We can't get by with under 170,000 manpower. Let's see, the Pope is dead. I don't really care about the Pope, quite frankly. I really don't. The Pope can suck it. Let's see. Jabal Shamar declared war on Najd. So the Middle East is as stable as ever, I see. Black Monday hits Russia. Fucking Black Monday. But classical conditioning gives us a bit more stability. We now have a total of 10% stability in Russia. Come on, we need that Makrana reintroduction. Right now, even another 5% stability would be a godsend. We fucking need that shit. Give it to us. And now, democracy has apparently been restored in Australia twice. How does that work exactly? Mod devs, if you're watching this, which you probably aren't, I think you have a bugged event chain. I've seen democracy restored twice in this game. That shouldn't happen. At least I don't think it should. Please do something about it. Right, gonna go on the bug forums and post about this after this stream is done, I think. Okay, a minister supports his ideology. We have barely any political power. Social conservatives and social liberals want more popularity. What have they got right now? 12 and 14% respectively. No. I'll spend the power to stop that. We are not letting them get more popular than us. We need to make the authoritarian Democrats the #1 party. Papal Conclave, and there's a new Pope. That's nice. But like I said, I don't care about the Pope. Screw the Pope. In the context of Russia, in this alternate history mod, obviously. Please no discussing religion in the comments/chat. I would rather like to avoid that minefield. Embryo Paradox Games? I have no idea what you said there. Can you please repeat that in English? I don't know what language that is, but it's not one I speak. Let's see. The First International Congress. Ooh-hoo. It appears to be time for the syndicalist and socialist nations to talk about syndicalist and socialist things. Well, they can have fun with that. I'm not syndicalist or socialist. I'm technically a military dictatorship, so I don't give a damn. Either of Russia's historic capitals could become the home of our government. Where should we go? I'm going to put our capital in Petrograd, in St. Petersburg, because that is the historical capital of the Russian Empire, and Wrangel was, from what little I remember, a bit of a monarchist, so I think you would have an appreciation of that kind of history, and Wrangel is our head of state right now, so it just seems to make more sense. Popularity's jumped up to 32%. Five days to go and we'll have 15% stability. Good, good. Make that 2 days to go. And an autosave. And 15% stability. Hooray for that. But now we have no more available national foci, so I'll have to leave that be for the time being. 15% stability, though, hopefully will stop us from sliding into civil war. Play Japan and conquer China. Pac Bell, hello. And while that does sound like an interesting thing to do, not this campaign. Right now, I am playing as my favorite Kaiserreich nation, Russia. Okay, electronic mechanical engineering. More research time. I'm going to take the time now to research 1918 equipment. We'll go into construction, the actual construction stuff, once those two finish. But no, I'm not going to just drop this campaign so I can play Japan and conquer China. Just personally, I find Russia in Kaiserreich to be the most interesting interesting nation to play as, just because you sort of have all the various facets of trying to control and manage a nation right from the start in a very interesting way. Like, I explained this at the beginning of the stream, but I suppose I can go back and talk about it again. Like, you have the threat of a civil war, you're trying to placate your populace, so you have to play politics and keep people happy where you can. You have to build back up, industrialize, and you have a lot of directions that you're inevitably going to want to expand in. So I just think that all the options make Russia a bit more interesting than Japan, but that's just my opinion. Let's see. Emirate of Afghanistan did lose all but 2 of their states. Color me unsurprised. Why exactly does Afghanistan think they can win a war against India again? Any ideas? Anyone? Didn't think so. Making actual political power now. Like 1 per turn. Or 1 per day, anyways. Agitation in the countryside. I see. Some idiot is advocating for open revolt. Well, some idiot is now a dead idiot. And fuck you, 2% stability loss. Fuck you. Let's see. Bulgaria wants a trade deal with us. I'm good with that, but I think I'm going to stop short of a formal military alliance with Bulgaria. I'm fine with having closer relations with them, but the last time that Russia got involved with anything resembling an alliance with a foreign power in the Balkans, we had World War I. Major peasant unrest. The peasantry has risen up. Local administration's powerless to stop the mob, and it seems the only way to solve the crisis is to use force. You can always attempt to negotiate, although satisfying their demands may turn out to be quite expensive. You could send in the army and basically nuke our stability. Attempt to negotiate and fulfill some demands. Nuke it slightly less and get some production output penalties. That I'm just going to fully agree to their demands. The penalties are the same as the one where we fulfill some of their demands, so there's no reason not to. And this fixes that stability loss that we had from before. And with that, eliminate the agitator event. So that's another reason to do it. Okie dokie. Markleek is declared war on Mongolia, so it looks like when we do finally end up at war with Mongolia, eventually, they're going to be even bigger. Most likely, because I have seen this in the past, and Mongolia always wins that war. I don't even know why Monklik bothers. They're obviously going to lose. But on the plus side, at least it's just Mongolia at the moment. And we don't have the weird situation I've seen in some past games where Mongolia is allied with Tibet. Yes, really. Allied with Tibet. For some reason. I guess they picked who their temporary ally was going to be out of a hat or something. That's the only way I can attempt to justify that, quite frankly. Is if they pick their allies out of a hat or some such thing. Initial stabilization. With the first wave of the crisis slowly passing by, some less affected branches of the economy had bounced off the bottom. Still, the overall state of our economy does not look optimistic. That removes the Russia is hit by the Black Monday spirit, and we get the beginning of stabilization. Wait, before I hit OK, I'm actually going to check what hit by Black Monday causes. If I can find that. Yeah, Russia is hit by Black Monday. Consumer good factories 10%, production efficiency -20, factory output -20. So it reduces the hit we get from that by 5%. It's not an excellent amount, but it's a good first step, is what I'd say to that. Wait. Mongolia appears to actually be losing ground over here. I'm not sure if it would be a good thing or not for Mongolia to lose that war. I mean, it would be out of the ordinary, certainly. Let's see here. Najit was annexed by Jabal Shamar. As I said before, it appears the Middle East is as much a mess as it ever was. Apparently, even when the Germans win the First World War, the Middle East is all fucked up. Rashidi Arabia. And I realize things are kind of slow going at the moment, but this is a consequence of playing a Paradox Grand strategy game. The early stages of the game are usually pretty slow. Because you're getting built up and everything. First Women's Division of Death. I want to add up some additional armed forces stuff. It would be nice to have additional forces, but I really don't want to lose stability right now. I have to refuse it on the grounds that will give me more stability, to be honest. If I had more stability when that decision came through, I would have accepted, but... Let's see. Maneuvers in the Carpathians. The Treaty of Bucharest of 1918 that officially ended the Weltkrieg for Romania, but at what cost? Romania was now dominated by German and Austrian industries, Most of her coastline was annexed by Bulgaria, and the Carpathian Mountains separating Romania from Hungary were put under firm Austro-Hungarian control. The humiliation Romania endured resulted in it devolving into a national populist dictatorship led by the conducitor, I don't know if that's how you pronounce that word, Cornelia Cadriano. Cadriano and his Iron Guard set out to restore Romania to what they say it should have been, a titan of the Balkans. Their first major move is a large-scale military exercise, seemingly in preparation to seize the Carpathians, perhaps the lands beyond. Yes, the world is changing and all that. Basic machine tools, done researching. So, Pac Bell, if you are still here, I have a question. Concentrated or dispersed industry? I generally go for concentrated, just because the countries I play are typically not ones that get bombed a lot. So I never see a whole lot of value in choosing dispersed, since I'm not going to be getting my shit blown up a lot of the time. Which is the main value that I see in dispersed industry. If I'm getting bombed a lot, I won't lose as much production. But what's your opinion on that? You still here? Okay then. Well, actually, I think I'll just go for my typical pick. Concentrated it is then. And if that was a bad choice, so be it. We have slightly more manpower now. That's nice, but it's still not a significant enough amount to actually go to war with people in order to get more manpower. And I'm just wanting an opinion on something that I'm considering, if there's anyone still watching this, but I've been giving some consideration to once we get to the point where I can actually choose a land doctrine, I'm thinking I might actually go for Blitzkrieg as my land doctrine, as opposed to mass assault, I mean. Thoughts on that? Let's see here. Revolution in Siam. Heir and chief of police were placed under arrest. The king returned to the capital and said he was fine with it. Little expression, blah blah blah. Okay, so Siam's a bit of a mess right now. And who knows if they're going to become a dictatorship or just switch back to being a kingdom after whatever's causing this is dealt with. see. Police crackdowns decision we have available. Yes, we have rather a lot of disorder right now, so I'm going to crack down on the dissidents. Oswald Mosley is elected chairman of the Trade Union Congress in the Union of Britain. Fun times. Fun times. Yeah, you have fun with your trade congress, Mosley. I'll be over here in Russia trying to avoid a fucking revolution. And rebuild the mighty Russian Empire, and all of that. Also, fuck you, Lash Order. You're a bunch of bastards who had the nerve to declare independence from us. And I will hurt you for that. Really badly. You and the Donkban Union, who have the nerve to still be independent, despite the fact they have oil. And we want said oil. A perfectly reasonable reason to dislike someone, right? They have oil. Oh god. You have resources I don't have, or you have resources I think you shouldn't have. Therefore I don't like you. Best justification ever. But I'm sure I've mentioned this countless times before, but the music in both Hearts of Iron in general and the Kaiserreich soundtrack, which appears to have a few issues right now, because it just gave me some text-to-speech bullshit when I tried to use that mod. The music is awesome. And I can just listen to the soundtrack all damn day. Socialist Republic of Italy. It has now ended with Mussolini's party in charge. Wow. Doesn't matter if it's alternate history with him as a commie or real life. You can't have the 1930s without Mussolini in charge of Italy. Or at least part of it, in this case. Our construction 1 is finished. But now, I'm going to research radios as my next move. And I'm putting us on 5 speed now, actually. For several reasons. The main one being, absolutely nothing is happening at the moment, so we want to speed through the boring bits. And wait, is Mongolia actually losing their war against Ma Clique? I gotta be honest with you guys, I have never seen that happen before. Ever. In my experience, Mongolia always not only wins, but kicks their asses. What has happened to the balance between those countries? Really? What's happened to them? Let's see. Poland elects a new king. They put a Habsburg on the throne, apparently. Well, if Eastern Poland is ruled by a Habsburg, then clearly, in the mind of Wrangel at least, there's some sort of conspiracy made by the Austrians to take control of Poland, because they foresee us being in control of the Baltics and the Ukraine again, and want a jumping off point to invade future Russian lands. This is the obvious reason why Poland must be crushed and brought back under Russian rule. Eventually, of course. I'm speaking super long term here, because we don't even have a land border with Poland yet, so we're not going to be invading them by politely asking Belorussia to let us walk through their lands so we can invade Poland. Don't be ridiculous. None of that shit's gonna happen. Status of the Orthodox Church. The Orthodox Church, under the leadership of the vocal Patriarch Kirill, is demanding a clarification of its legal status in the Russian Republic. He wants us to pass a constitutional amendment on the issue of our national religion. Well, I really see only one approach that's even remotely reasonable here. Orthodoxy is, of course, our state religion. As it was before, so shall it be now. Forming the military. Recent military exercises have led to one irrefutable conclusion. The Russian military is a mess. Sweeping reforms are needed if we are to be taken seriously by our neighbors. Each of our top army commanders has come up with a plan. Their proposals await your consultation, and I will have a look. We're now capable of reforming the army through this focus. And I mentioned this before, but I'm actually leaning towards Shatilov's plan here for Blitzkrieg, mobile warfare. We'll lose a little bit of stability by going for it, but since it's the more revolutionary option... Oh, that's the wrong plan. I meant Markov's plan. Actually, yeah, we'll lose 5% stability for going for this, and get some boosts to the mobile warfare doctrine. It's the more revolutionary option to be sure, but I'm considering checking out Blitzkrieg. Hey, dude, I can't even pronounce your username and I have no idea what you've said. Yeah, thanks. Karnilov, cool. I'm not getting the significance of that statement, but right now I'm trying to decide which of the army reforms to go for. And it's between Denikin's mass assault doctrine and Markov's plan that's effectively blitzkrieg. I'm leaning a bit more towards blitzkrieg, but I'm wondering what you think about that. And I'm sorry, but just based off the fact that your username is not written in English, I literally cannot pronounce that, so I'm not going to try. But yeah, do you have any suggestions for which army reform path to take? We're gaining a little bit of manpower, but not as much as I would like to have. Oh, Karnilov. Right, I finally got it. You're talking about the other guy who can do a military coup, as opposed to Wrangel during the government path pick that you get right after Kerensky dies, right? I have to admit, I've never picked him. As a matter of fact, this is my first time picking an option that wasn't electing Dmitri or deliberately trying to get a communist revolution so that I could have the USSR show up. So I have no experience with him. In fact, until this playthrough I'm doing right now, I had no experience with Wrangel. Literally. My only experience with Wrangel was watching the Paradox Extra Let's Play of this mod. That's from ages ago. You know what? I think I am going to decide to go for the ancient and time-honed method with regard of my army reform of kicking the can down the road. I'm seriously considering just ending this stream here and picking up next time with me deciding on how I'm going to reform the army. Because I just cannot decide. I'm sorry. I'm totally stuck between going with Markov's mobile warfare doctrine and Denikin's mass assault. So I may just end it. I'm not totally sure, and I'm kind of fumbling back and forth right now, trying to decide if I actually want to stop here just due to not being able to decide which doctrine to go for. Seriously. Last person who posted, whose name I cannot pronounce, or even read for that matter. I'm trying to decide on which kind of army reform to go for in this playthrough. And right now, it is either mobile warfare or mass assault. I need help picking one. So, if you would. Okay. I'm not sure if I'll get any feedback this way, but I went ahead and created a poll on this for my doctrine. If anyone's interested in giving me some help, please vote on it. And in fact, let's see here. In fact, I think I am just going to conclude this live stream right here. Because I don't want to advance time until I've picked a doctrine. So I'm going to end things as they are. So, to all of you that decided to turn up for my live stream, thank you very much for watching. I do appreciate it, and everyone who commented, even if it was in some language I don't know what it is and can't read, thank you for taking the time to say something during this stream. I really appreciate it. But please, I have to ask for in the future, please leave your comments and chat messages in English. English is the only language I speak. I would like to be able to actually read your messages and usernames. So if I can get an English translation of what you're saying out of you, that'd be great. Otherwise, please just leave the message in English. Anyways, as I was saying, I appreciate you turning up to watch this. And if you want to see Kaiserreich again, I'm still kind of working out the kinks in my streaming schedule, so I can't give you a specific time or day at the moment, but I'm going to try to stream Kaiserreich at least once a week. Once I work out the schedule for when I want to stream and everything, I will let you know. But for now, it's going to have to remain up in the air. I'll probably post an announcement video once I work out the when and everything, but that's the best I can offer you right now. So, once again, this has been DarkPhoenix, DarkPhoenix Gaming. Thank you for watching my live stream of the Kaiserreich mod for Hearts of Iron 4 as the Russian military dictatorship under our good friend here, Peter Wrangle. And I hope you'll join me next time. Until then, folks, I will see you then. I will see you then. Thanks for watching and or commenting.